The 12-week year. Get more done in 12 weeks than others do in 12 months by Brian P. Moran and Michael Lennington. Picture this. It's the first week of January and you're buzzing with energy. This is going to be your year. You've got your goals written down, big and bold. You're finally getting in shape, launching that project you've been dreaming about, maybe even doubling your income. The possibilities feel endless. Now let's skip ahead to the end of March. How's that ambitious list looking? If you're like most of us, you're probably a bit behind schedule. Okay, maybe more than a bit. But here's where we do something interesting. We tell ourselves a comforting little lie that we've all bought into. No worries, I've still got 9 months left. Tons of time to turn this around. We all live by this rhythm. This cozy illusion that a year stretches out before us like an endless highway. We cruise through spring, enjoy our summer, and then suddenly, boom, it's October. That's when the panic kicks in. The end of the year isn't some abstract concept anymore. It's a freight train barreling toward us. And here's where something fascinating happens. In those final months, November and December, we discover this incredible focus and urgency that's been hiding all year long. We hustle, we grind, and somehow we accomplish more in those last 60 days than we did in the previous 10 months combined. Ever wonder why that happens? Why do we have this superhuman ability to execute when our backs are against the wall, but we let it sit dormant the rest of the time? What if you could bottle up that year-end energy and use it all year round? What if you could create that powerful deadline pressure not once, but 4 times a year? That's exactly what Brian P. Moran and Michael Lennington promise in their game-changing book, The 12-Week Year. This isn't your typical productivity book filled with life hacks and shortcuts. This is a complete reimagining of the calendar that runs our lives. After years of working with individuals and major corporations, Moran and Lennington discovered something both simple and devastating. The biggest obstacle to our success is our own thinking, specifically what they call annualized thinking. Today you're going to learn how to escape the trap of the 12-month calendar. You'll discover how to transform a year into a 12-week sprint that creates constant urgency and purpose. By the time we're done, you won't just have a new system. You'll have a completely different mindset, one that lets you accomplish more in the next 12 weeks than most people do in 12 months. This is how you collapse time and unlock the potential you've always known was there. Let's kick things off with a simple but powerful truth. For most of us, the problem isn't that we don't know what to do. We know how to lose weight, eat better, move more. We know how to succeed at work. Do the critical tasks every single day. The authors are crystal clear about this. The gap isn't between knowing and not knowing. The gap is between knowing and doing. Execution is what separates the successful from everyone else, both in business and in life. So why is execution so incredibly hard? The book points to a silent enemy we almost never question. The 12-month calendar. Annualized thinking, as they call it, is a trap. It creates this illusion that we have all the time in the world. When something's due a year from now, there's zero urgency to do it today. We push off the important stuff, telling ourselves we'll get to it later. But later turns into next week, then next month, and before we know it, another year has vanished. The 12-week year system is built on a radical idea. Forget the 12-month year. From this moment forward, your year is only 12 weeks long. Each 12-week period stands alone. It has a beginning, middle, and end. When those 12 weeks are up, you measure your wins, celebrate your successes, learn from what didn't work, and then you launch into a brand new year. Think about what this does to your psychology. Suddenly, every single week counts. In a 12-month year, one bad week is barely a blip on the radar. In a 12-week year, One bad week is like losing an entire month. You can't afford to waste a day. This simple reframing of time injects that December urgency into every single month of your life. But reshaping the calendar is just the beginning. To make this work, you need a powerful engine driving you forward. And that engine, the book tells us, is vision. The fuel, crafting a vision that pulls you forward. Execution isn't about willpower. Willpower is like a battery that runs down. True, sustainable action comes from having a reason that's so compelling, so emotionally powerful, that it pulls you through the discomfort of doing hard things. You have to want your future more than you want your current comfort. This is where vision enters the picture. And we're not talking about some generic mission statement you print and forget. We're talking about a deeply personal, vivid picture of the life you genuinely want to create. The authors emphasize that you need to start with your personal vision first, before you even touch your professional goals. What do you want for your health, your relationships, your spirit, your growth as a person? Your career and business are simply tools that help you build that life. When your work goals connect to your life vision, they stop being chores and start being meaningful steps toward the future you're craving. Here's where it gets really interesting. The book explains that our brains are actually hardwired for this. When we face uncertainty or risk, like tackling a big new goal, a part of our brain called the amygdala fires up, creating fear and resistance. It's trying to keep us safe in our comfort zone. But when we imagine a compelling, exciting future for ourselves, another part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, lights up. This is where planning and possibility live. The incredible thing is that by repeatedly focusing on your vision, you're literally strengthening the neural pathways in your brain that overcome fear and drive action. You're training your brain for success simply by thinking about what you want most. Your vision needs to be big enough to make you a little nervous. It has to be a future that's bigger than your present. Once you have that long-term dream, you bring it closer by creating a 3-year vision. What does your ideal life look like just 3 years from now? Get specific. The clearer that picture, the more emotional power it carries. This vision becomes your North Star. It's what you'll turn to when you don't feel like making that extra call or hitting the gym. It's the why that makes the how possible. The roadmap, from big vision to daily action. A vision without a plan is just a daydream. So once you've got your why, you need your how. Enter the 12-week plan. Unlike an annual plan, which is usually a sprawling list of vague objectives, a 12-week plan is laser-focused and action-oriented. The first rule is ruthless prioritization. You can't be exceptional at 10 things at once. Instead, you identify just 1 to 3 goals for your 12-week year. These are the goals that will make the biggest impact and move you closest to your 3-year vision. That's it. 1 to 3 things. Period. For each goal, you then break it down into specific weekly actions or tactics that you must take to achieve it. A tactic isn't some abstract idea. It's a concrete action. It's not get more clients. It's make 15 cold calls to qualified prospects each week. It's not lose weight. It's complete a 30-minute cardio session at the gym on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Each tactic must start with a verb, be specific, and have a due date, like each week or by week 4. The structure is elegantly simple but incredibly powerful. If you complete the tactics each week, you will achieve your goals. There's no ambiguity. The plan creates a direct, unbroken line from your long-term vision to the exact things you need to do today. This is a total game changer because it eliminates the guesswork from your day. You no longer wake up wondering, what's the most important thing I should do today? Your plan has already answered that question. Your job isn't to figure out what to do. Your job is to execute the plan. The engine of execution: control, measurement, and intentionality. So you've got your vision and your plan. How do you make sure you actually follow through, day after day, especially when life throws curveballs? The book introduces a set of powerful disciplines that form your execution system. First up is process control. This is about creating structures that support your execution, so you're not just running on willpower. The cornerstone of process control is the weekly plan. At the start of each week, you spend 15 to 20 minutes reviewing your main 12-week plan and pulling out only the tactics that are due for that specific week. This becomes your game plan for the next 7 days. It's not a to-do list of every little task you have to do. It's a strategic document focused only on the high-impact actions from your plan. You keep this weekly plan in front of you every single day. But there's another crucial element of process control: peer support. The book shares a fascinating study about patients who needed to make major lifestyle changes or faced death. Those who tried to do it alone? 10% success rate. Those who were part of a peer support group? Nearly 80% success rate. The lesson is unmistakable. Don't go it alone. This is why the authors created the Weekly Accountability Meeting, or WAM for short. This is a quick, 15-minute meeting you have each week with a small group of 2 to 4 committed peers. In this meeting, you're not blaming or shaming each other. You simply report on your progress. You share your results from the previous week, your execution score, and your intentions for the coming week. This simple act of public declaration creates powerful ownership and keeps you on track. The combination of scoring your week, planning your week, and participating in a WAM forms the weekly routine, which is the heartbeat of the 12-week year. The second discipline is measurement. You can't improve what you don't measure. In sports, everyone knows the score at all times. It provides immediate feedback and guides decisions. The same must be true for your goals. The book distinguishes between 2 types of indicators: lag indicators and lead indicators. Lag indicators are the end results, things like income earned, pounds lost, or sales made. They're important, but they lag behind your actions. You can't directly control them. Lead indicators, on the other hand, are the actions that produce the results. For a sales goal, a lead indicator would be the number of calls you make. For a fitness goal, it would be the number of workouts you complete. You have direct control over your lead indicators. The most important lead indicator in the entire system is your weekly execution score. This is simply the percentage of tactics you successfully completed from your weekly plan. The authors discovered a magic number. If you consistently execute 85% or more of your planned tactics each week, you're highly likely to achieve your goals. This shifts your focus from worrying about the results to obsessing over your execution. If you do what you said you were going to do, the results take care of themselves. This measurement creates what the book calls productive tension. When your score is low, it creates an uncomfortable feeling. You have 2 choices. You can abandon the system to make the discomfort go away, or you can use that tension as fuel to take action and improve your score. High achievers choose the latter. The third discipline is intentionality, or taking back control of your day. Time is our most valuable and perishable resource. If you're not intentional about how you spend it, the day will control you. To combat this, the book introduces a brilliantly simple system called performance time, which involves blocking out specific types of time in your week. There are 3 types of blocks. First, the strategic block, a 3-hour uninterrupted block of time scheduled once a week. During this time, you work on your business or your life, not in it. No emails, no phone calls, no interruptions. This is when you do your deep, high-value work, the things that actually move you toward your vision. Second are the buffer blocks. 30 to 60-minute blocks scheduled once or twice a day to handle all the low-value, reactive stuff, like email and voicemails. By batching these tasks together, you prevent them from constantly interrupting your high-value work throughout the day. Finally, there are breakout blocks, a 3-hour block of time scheduled during normal work hours to do something completely unrelated to work. This isn't about being lazy. It's about preventing burnout and recharging your creative energy. Peak performance requires periods of intense focus, followed by periods of rest and recovery. By creating a model week that incorporates these blocks, you move from being a victim of your schedule to being the architect of your day. The foundation, the mindset of high performance. Underpinning this entire system are 3 core principles, 3 mindsets that you must embrace to truly succeed. The first is accountability as ownership. Most people think of accountability as something negative, as consequences imposed on them by others. The book argues this is completely wrong. True accountability can't be given or taken. It's a choice. It's personal ownership of your actions and your results, regardless of the circumstances. It's understanding that while you don't control the world around you, you always control your thinking and your actions. Someone who embraces accountability stops being a victim and starts being the creator of their life. Their guiding question is never, "Whose fault is it?" but always, "What more can I do to get the result I want?" The second principle is interest versus commitment. The book shares a delightful little story about a pig and a chicken at breakfast. The chicken, who provides the egg, is interested. The pig, who provides the bacon, is committed. When you're merely interested in doing something, you do it only when it's convenient. When you're committed, you accept no excuses, only results. Commitment means you've counted the costs beforehand, the sacrifice, the discomfort, the time, and you've decided the goal is worth the price. It means learning to act on your commitments, not on your feelings. There will be plenty of days you don't feel like it. That's when your commitment has to be stronger than your mood. The third and final principle is perhaps the most beautiful: greatness in the moment. We often think that greatness is achieved when the big result comes in, when the gold medal is won, when the company is sold, when the book is published. The authors argue that this is a misconception. The result isn't the attainment of greatness, it's merely the confirmation of it. Greatness is achieved long before the world ever sees the evidence. It happens in the quiet moments. It happens when the Olympic swimmer decides to do one more lap, when her body is screaming to stop. It happens when the writer chooses to write for an hour instead of turning on the television. Greatness is a choice you make in this very moment. You're either great in the moment, or you're not great at all. The difference between greatness and mediocrity isn't a giant leap. It's the small, disciplined choices you make, day after day, that compound over time into a life of remarkable achievement. And so, the 12-week year comes full circle. It's a system that provides the structure, but it's powered by a mindset that demands ownership, commitment, and greatness, not in some distant future, but right here, right now. It even includes a 13th week after each cycle, a built-in time to celebrate, recover, and plan your next sprint toward the life you're truly capable of living. As we wrap up our journey through the 12-week year, I want to leave you with a few thoughts on why this book is so much more than just another productivity system. Its true power lies in the way it fundamentally challenges the invisible scripts that run our lives. We're born into a world that hands us a 12-month calendar and says this is the rhythm of success. We never question it. But what Moran and Lennington have done is reveal that this framework, which we accept as a law of nature, is actually a self-imposed limitation. The most profound lesson in this book, for me, is the idea of intentional imbalance. We're constantly told to seek work-life balance, as if the goal is to spend equal time and energy on everything. The book rightly points out that this is not only impractical, but undesirable. Greatness is never achieved through balance. It's achieved through focused, intense, and often imbalanced effort in one area for a specific period of time. The 12-week year gives you a framework to be intentionally imbalanced. For 12 weeks, you might go all in on your fitness. For the next 12, you might focus intensely on a business goal. This allows you to make significant, tangible progress in the key areas of your life, one sprint at a time, without the guilt of not doing everything at once. This is a book about reclaiming your agency. It's about realizing that you don't have to be a passenger in your own life, passively waiting for a year to end to see how you did. You can be the driver. You can set the deadlines. You can create the urgency. So how can you start applying this today, right now, without feeling overwhelmed? Here are 3 simple actions you can take. First, run a 1-week experiment. You don't have to commit to the full system just yet. For the next 7 days, simply pretend it's the last week of your year. Look at your most important goals and ask yourself, if the deadline was this Friday, what would I absolutely have to get done? Write down those few critical actions and focus on nothing else. Feel that sense of clarity and urgency. That feeling is the magic of the 12-week year. Second, draft your aspirational vision in 15 minutes. Forget the plan for a moment. Grab a piece of paper and just for 15 minutes, write down, in detail, what your ideal life looks like 3 years from now. Don't censor yourself. Don't worry about the how. Just connect with the why. What does that life feel like? Who are you with? What impact are you making? This is the fuel. Keep it somewhere you can see it every day. Third, identify one keystone tactic. Don't try to build a full 12-week plan at first. Just think about your most important goal right now. What is the single most important action, the keystone, that if you did it consistently, would create the most momentum? Is it making 5 sales calls every day? Is it writing for 30 minutes before you check email? Is it a 20-minute walk after dinner? Identify that one action and commit to doing it for just the next 5 days. Build the muscle of consistency on one small thing. That was a deep dive into the 12-week year by Brian P. Moran and Michael Lennington. We've explored the core ideas today, but I'll be honest with you, a summary can only take you so far. The real transformation happens when you engage with the material yourself. It's in the quiet moments of reflection, when a particular story or a simple concept clicks in a way you didn't expect. This overview is your map, designed to help you decide if this journey is one you want to take. If anything we've talked about today has sparked something in you, I urge you to grab a copy of the book. Reading it isn't just about learning a new system. It's an experience that can genuinely change the way you see your time, your potential, and your life. Also, if you found this summary valuable, I'd be so grateful if you'd hit that subscribe button. It tells me that this work matters, and it ensures you won't miss our next exploration into another life-changing book. Let's keep learning and growing together.